A contract may be discharged by frustration. A contract may be frustrated when there exists a change in circumstances after the contract was made, which is not the fault of either of the parties, which renders the contract either impossible to perform or deprives the contract of its commercial purpose. Where a contract is found to be frustrated, each party is discharged from future obligations under the contract and neither party may sue for breach. The concept of frustration is covered by Section 56 of the Indian Contract Act, which talks about two kinds of impossibilities, that is, initial impossibility and subsequent impossibility. We shall first discuss initial impossibility. Sometimes an agreement may be impossible to perform. The impossibility of the performance of the contract may be there from the very beginning. Such an impossibility which exists from the very beginning is known as initial impossibility. Section 56 of the Indian Contract Act deals with cases of initial impossibility and provides that an agreement to do an act impossible in itself is void. For example, if Ali enters into an agreement with Ahmed to discover a treasure by magic, such an agreement does not amount to a contract because it is impossible to perform. Next is subsequent impossibility. Sometimes a contract may be possible to perform when it is made, but afterwards something happens which makes the performance of the contract impossible or unlawful. Such an impossibility which arises later is known as subsequent impossibility. Cases of subsequent impossibility are also covered by Section 56, which declares that a contract to do an act which after the contract is made becomes impossible or unlawful to perform is void. The Madras High Court in Ramaswamy Athappan versus the Secretariat of the International Chamber of Commerce expounded the ambit of the expression incapable of being performed occurring in Section 56. The court opined that this expression signifies frustration and consequent discharge. If, after making the contract, the promise becomes incapable of being performed or fulfilled due to unforeseen contingencies, the contract is frustrated.